Welcome, Planeswalkers, to the CollectorMania YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us for an alternate Tuesdays edition for Brawl featuring Tezzeret, Artifice Master. If you haven't seen Tezzeret, he's new from Magic Core Set 2019. For 3, 2 blue, you get a 5 loyalty, +1, create a 1/1 Thopter with flying. For 0, draw a card. If you control 3 or more artifacts, draw 2 instead. And for -9, create an emblem that says, at the beginning of your end step, search your library for a permanent card, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle your library. So this deck is going to be focused around a bunch of artifacts, kind of historic, working together with enter the battlefield / cast triggers off of, artifacts and artificers, that sort of thing. Breaking into our other Planeswalker here, we have Karn in the deck. Basically, some great draw with the plus and -1, but we're looking at the -2, creating a star construct equal to the number of artifacts we control. So this one should be pretty good, especially if we can do this twice right away and get maybe an 8/8 or a 9/9 or something like that. Definitely a great 1/2 minus on Karn. Starting our creatures, just a regular old Ornithopter, just some evasion, hopefully pumping him up. Artificer's Assistant, just for some scry whenever we cast a historic spell. Metallic Mimic, of course, probably naming Thopter, maybe Vehicle, something like that. And just buffing these guys up. Chief of the Foundry, another lord here. Artifact creatures get a little bit bigger. Foundry Inspector, artifacts cost 1 less. The other kind of hidden commander, or maybe a better choice for Brawl, would be Master Thopterist. For 2 and a blue, a 1/4 legendary human artificer. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a Thopter, and for 1 a blue and sacrifice 2 artifacts, draw a card. So a great way to replenish your hand, a great way to kind of add advantage to casting your spells. I think this guy will be a big hit for artifact players out there in Brawl and regular Commander. Next, Scrap Trawler, just a good way to get dying artifacts back, or get something out of an artifact dying, especially more expensive ones. You could get some pretty decent stuff. Skittering Surveyor, good way to fix maybe our 4th land drop if we need it. Trophy Mage, searching up any of our 3-cost artifacts. Definitely a great one, just like Trinket Mage and Treasure Mage, and Trophy Mage at exactly 3 can do some work in this deck. Iron League Steed for 4, a 2/2 haster with Fabricate 1. With some of our synergies here, we may be able to cost this guy for less, fabricate a guy into play, and maybe get a Thopter or 2 when a historic or an artifact spell is cast. Jorah's Familiar, again reducing historic spell costs. Padim, great way to give hexproof to all of our stuff, and if we have the most expensive artifact on our boards, we get to draw a card. Quicksmith Spy, just giving a guy tap to draw, as long as the spy is in play. Definitely a great way to keep our hand full. We have Traxos, shouldn't have any trouble keeping this guy untapped, playing historic spells quite often, and a hopefully cheaper with some extras 7/7 Trampler every turn would be pretty good. Experimental Aviator, an Artificer, and we get some more Thopters out of him, so definitely a good one there. Multiform Wonder, one of our few energy cards here. My goal here would be to give him flying and lifelink, or maybe one or the other, pump him if we need to, and he's a good sink for that energy when we need it. Fountain of Renewal into our non-creature artifacts, essentially every upkeep gaining a life and paying 3 to draw a card if we need to. Heart of Kirin, just a decent finisher here. I don't know if we'd want to pull a loyalty off Tezzeret, but crewing for 3 for a 4/4 flyer isn't too bad. Aethersphere Harvester, a great stabilization card, another energy dump, and a low crew cost. Gaining life with this card is just going to keep us alive, especially 3 at a time. It's awesome. Inspiring Statuary, giving our non-artifact creatures or spells improvise. Great to make some of those sitting artifacts help us pay for our spells. Renegade Freighter here, I tried to go with a couple vehicles with low crew cost and trample, so whenever this one attacks it becomes a 5/4 and gets trample, so a good way to get through. Fleet Rail Cruiser, again another one with trample, and it comes in active the turn you play it, so a great way to get that going. Untethered Express, another trampler, when it attacks get +1/+1, so a 5/5 trample for crew 1, pretty decent. Weatherlight here, another evasive vehicle with a pretty low crew cost, and whenever you connect and deal damage, you can dig down 5 for historic card, put it in your hand, and then the rest on at the bottom of your library. So a good way to kind of filter through the top of your deck. Sky Sovereign, of course, kind of bolting stuff when it comes into play, and decent crew cost for 3, and it can deal another 3 damage when it attacks as well, and another evader. Gonti's Aether Heart, one more of our energy dumps. If we pay 8, we can gain an extra turn. Era of Innovation, excuse me, whenever an artifact or artificer enters the battlefield, you can pay 1 to get 2 energy, and pay 6 energy, sack it, and draw 3 cards. Next, we've got Favorable Winds, just trying to pump up our Thopters and maybe our vehicles that have flying, just to kind of help get through to finish off the game. Next, we have Efficient Construction, another enchantment. Whenever we cast an artifact spell, create a flyer Thopter, so definitely a good one. Mechanized Production, kind of a greedy alternate win condition, I'd say. But, you know, we can create a token of an enchanted creature or artifact, excuse me, and if we have 8, we win the game. You know, we could hit Thopters if we have, say, 7 of them or something, or maybe get Aether Sphere Harvester every turn, or even a Multiform Wonder or something. Definitely a good way to get some really good stuff over and over again. The Antiquities War are, I think, our only saga. Of course, we're digging for 5 on the first 2 ticks of the saga, and then on the final one, a great win condition, making all of our artifacts 5/5s until end of turn. Next, we have War of Invention. Just improvise and search for an extra less artifact and put it in a battlefield, so should be a good one there. One with the Machine, another new one from M19. Draw cards equal to the highest CMC amongst artifacts you control. Great way to replenish your hand late game. Reverse Engineer, another sorcery with Improvise. Likely going to cost us just 2 blue and some taps on our non-important artifacts to draw 3. Saheeli's Artistry, another great spell. Create a token that's a copy of an artifact and create a token that's a copy of a creature and is also an artifact. So definitely a good card to kind of beef up the state with. We've got Aether Hub, just a simple way to get some energy. Arch of Arazka, hopefully we'll have a bunch of permanents into play and get that City's Blessing for the 5 tap and draw a card. Field of Ruin, just sack it if we need to destroy like a really good non-basic that your opponent's running. Inventor's Fair, of course, another great way to get a little bit of a life advantage on your opponent, and a good search if we need to grab something out of our deck to help us win. Reliquary Tower, we're drawing a lot of cards, so hopefully we'll be able to keep them all with the no maximum hand size. Scavenger Grounds, just in case we need to blow up somebody's graveyard. And then we have Zalthiran Void, just a little bit of scry, just to get us there on an early turn, something like that. So guys, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the Brawl Tezzeret Artifice Master Alternate Tuesday. If you guys have any suggestions, post them in the comments below. Let us know what you may want to see in the future. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and we will see you guys next time.